Capricorn, well, it seems this month that the cosmic door-to-door salesman is ding-dong calling at your door and leaving a gift at the doorstep with the instructions which say, one blast of this and all the dirt and the mess and the crap will be gone. Will be gone, poof, just like that. And this is a moment this month in eclipse season where you're very, very welcome for this door-to-door salesman to mysteriously leave this at your door. A bit of magic, a bit of strange magic, which does exactly what it says on the label. One blast of this and all of the crap that has been lingering around will be gone. So why is this happening, my love? Well, let's do what we always do. We're going to shuffle the cards. We're going to wait on all the right ones to come along for you, my love. And in the meantime, let's talk about this strange magic that's been left at your doorstep. Where is it coming from? Well, it is coming from a lot of the retrograde energy that's happening this month. Even Mercury is retrograding, dare I even say it. Neptune retrograding. We still have Saturn, your ruler, Pluto, Jupiter, but Venus does go direct this month. But on top of all of that, we also have eclipse season. We have the big lunar eclipse on June 5th happening in Sagittarius in your 12th house, the mysterious house. And we have the new moon solar eclipse happening for you in Cancer in your 7th house later on in the month on June 21st. And this is where things start to change. Last month, we talked about all the conflict, all the people and all the situations that have just been wearing you thin, running you ragged and dragging out of you. And it just felt like a mess. Messiness, messy people, messy situations, and of course you there trying to contain all of this and trying to sweep it all into a corner so that it doesn't look like such a mess. But this month, as I said, with the lunar eclipse in the 12th house, this is that moment where the cosmos comes in and says, that issue, that problem, that drama, handle this right and bam, it could be gone, because that's what the 12th house does. The 12th house is like, this is the end of the karma. And even for some of you, it's like, I've been waiting a long time for this shit to end. How can it just end like that? Well, over the course of, say, maybe the next 6 months, it begins now, but over the course of the next 6 months, you could see very difficult people disappear out of your life. Exes who've been tiring you or bothering you with their issues, maybe finally leaving you alone. Just putting distance between the two of you. Issues and problems with other people that you've been having, there's just a distance. And even a karmic end. I will say this for some of you, if you have found it very difficult to get over something, the ending of a relationship, the ending of a contract, the ending of an agreement with somebody, the ending of some problems, as I said, it could all begin to end there. Now, I will say this, with the moon, full moon, lunar eclipse in your 12th house, for some of you, it could really mean the absolute end, a real meaningful end, because this is a very 12th house style card, of a significant relationship. Now, that could be a love relationship. Now, cross watchers, please don't panic. It could be a love relationship. It could be a business relationship, or it could be, I don't want any more dealings with this person or this situation again. So there could be the end of a very tiresome or emotionally draining relationship here, Capricorn. And there's a great feeling of, well, it's come to its natural end. I mean, this isn't forced. This isn't like a sudden, oh my God, what happened? It feels like it's all wrapped up in a bow. It has come to its natural end. This is actually the moment where it's gone. So it's a natural ending or a natural severing of a karmic issue between you and another person. You could have been in some sort of a relationship with a person, be it a love relationship, family relationship, business, finance, whatever it might be, working. And it's just like, well, there it is. We have no more karmic business with each other. It is now coming to an end, and this is the dissolving. This is where it just all seems to drift out of my life to make way for something new. For many of you, for sure, there is an overlap, I feel here. One relationship ending and another one beginning. One business contract ending and a new one opening up. A handshake or a deal that you had with somebody ending and a brand new one opening up. So it's like out of the old and into the new. A transitional phase from the old into the new. So I love that. Now, I will say this, for some of you, as things are starting to dissolve and as there's distance being put in its wake, what could happen as everything is being dissolved is truths get revealed. It's like the decision has already been made to say goodbye, but as it's sailing off, it's like, what's that? What's that? What's that? And it's truth. Things that you didn't know about a person, things that you didn't know about a situation, things that really were kept hidden from you, but you knew in your gut that something was at play. And it's almost like, well, there it is. It's revealed and exposed. I was right. I always knew there was something going on here in the background. But as it's ending, I get to see that I was right intuitively about somebody or something, because something is coming to light. Now, for those of you who are in a solid relationship where there's no ending in sight, this could be a real moment of powerful transformation in the relationship. A lot of very open and honest feelings coming out. A lot of very open and honest conversations being had, which does help to transform the relationship. It's like, let's go back to square one. Let's begin all over again. Let's begin all over again. Let's start over. I just feel that. I feel for some of you, there could be some conversations about how you don't want certain people involved in the relationship. Maybe it's family, either your family or your partner's family. For those in a relationship, it's like, can we start over? But this time, can we not be bringing those people in? Can we not be entertaining that person as much as we have been? Can they not have so much of a say in the relationship? Or can I not always feel totally uncomfortable around this person, like I have to jump through hoops to please them? I'm in a relationship with you. I accept that your family come along with that package, but can we make a new deal? Can we shake hands on a new way on how to handle that? And that could be powerfully transformative for you. Weird images coming into my mind. Can you ask that family member, if they visit, to actually go home? To not kind of spend days sleeping on the sofa? Can you ask that family member when they come not to expect us to be rolling out the red carpet for them? Can they not just turn up and be a normal person for once? So there's a feeling of, can we ask for a change? And you certainly can. Now, one of the other things that might be happening, and I hope it's not too disappointing with quarantine, lockdown and everything that's going on. So those of you in a relationship, now I'll get to the singles in a moment, I'm not excluding you. You may, or even the singles actually too, it's a feeling of having to cancel some long distance travel. It could be a vacation, but it could be to visit a person, to go and travel somewhere far, to get away from it all, to go and travel maybe to see a foreign property that you have, or to handle foreign business, to do something with work. There's a feeling of, maybe I might not get to do that, But if there are contracts to be signed this month too, it can still happen, but there's a feeling of it all must be done remotely. Now, of course, that sounds like Captain Obvious here right now, because so many meetings at the moment are done via the internet, via our telecommunications, but there's a remote communication between you and somebody else that can still be very, very pleasant. If it's a contract or a deal, it can still happen. Even though you can't be physically there. If it's a love thing and you're very far away from your partner at the moment for some reason or another, then the love can still be nurtured and encouraged there. So it's all very, very nice. But I do feel for many of you, there's a big psychic breakthrough happening in your dealings with other people in general, be it your own partner, partners in general. A big psychic breakthrough. And I do get the sense this month that a lot of you need time on your own to process something. I need to get away from everybody. I actually feel so pulled, dragged. I feel like, two horses pulling me in two different directions. And it's like, I can only take so much. I'm tough, I can handle stuff, but I can only take so much. And I need to rest my body, I need to rest my mind, I need to go away and think, relax, recover, sleep. Some of you might need a bit of sleep to recover after a lot of mental anguish, a lot of stuff on your mind, Capricorn. And it's just that feeling of it has been too much, it has been too real, it has been too going. It's been non-stop. I feel personally attacked by the cosmos, by the amount of work I've had to do. I really genuinely need a time out. I need a time out. And I know that sounds weird for some of you with quarantine and lockdown. I know not everybody is working at the moment, but it's not even necessarily that type of work. It's the work of the wheels going round and round in your mind. It's the work of trying to keep everything together. It's the work of trying to keep the household bills moving, trying to keep it all moving. It's work. And you're not one person to be afraid of work, Capricorn, but even for you, you have to put your hands up and admit that it's been a bit rough. And you're not being a slacker, or you're not being lazy, or you're not shirking your responsibilities or duties by just putting your hand up and saying, can everybody just leave me alone for a moment? I need an absolute time out. I need a time out. And that's a good thing for you to do. Time to relax that beautiful mind, but also time to think in a peaceful space. I also feel for many of you, that time away, that time on your own, that time to think, because your mind is quieter, you'll start getting answers to some of the problems that you have going on at the moment. It's almost like up until now, you weren't allowed to stop to figure out the solutions to your problems, but now you can. Now, with Mercury retrograding this month in Cancer, in your 7th house, it is all about problem solving, but certainly problem solving within relationships, within business contracts, within deals, the buying and selling of something. There's getting on with people. Even for some of you, I have to say this, there's a feeling of, how has it arrived at the point where I feel like everybody is arguing with me, or everybody's pulling at me, as I said earlier. I just want everybody to get along with everybody. I don't really want this aggressive energy in my life, or this conflict in my life. I need to go back and begin by me personally encouraging the growth of my good, solid relationships, my friends, the family that I care for, the clients or colleagues, people I actually genuinely have pleasure being around. I enjoy their company. I want to do more of that, because there's a feeling of the scales was tipped too far in spending way too much time in conflict or with very, very difficult people. And now it's like, I'm going to help this situation by encouraging more of the better people and really getting a great sense of pleasure from, how would you say it? Getting a great sense of pleasure from cultivating fun with other people, or cultivating good humor with another person, or agreements with other people. I definitely feel for some of you, you're working very hard. Now, this might sound strange, and it's a surprise to me, but you're going to start working very hard to be more liked or likable. But it's not the feeling of I have to force this. It's like, I miss this. I am a likable person. I do get on with people. And everything that's been going on for the longest time just makes me feel like I just need to be around people who see that aspect of me, the likable. I'm just holding that thought there for a second, Capricorn, because this needs to happen because you have been surrounded by people who are only seeing how much they can use you, how much they can get from you, people who smile, fake smile at you. There's something very insincere about all of the connections. There's people who want to fight with you. And you're saying, it must be me. I've done this. I must be a bad person to find myself around all of these bad people. It's not. It's not. That's not how it is. You're not a bad person. You're not a person who everybody only wants to fight with. It's not that way. It was just a weird moment, Capricorn. And it's just that feeling of you turning your head around and saying, I am now in the business of being agreeable and finding agreeable people. Do you know where I'm coming from with that? You know what I mean? It's like, spend too much time with a certain type of person and you'll begin to believe you're also like that, or that somehow you're making it happen, and you're just turning totally away from that. But there's huge problem solving going on, as I said, in relationships, because there's a feeling of you being able to see the bigger picture to transform something. I definitely feel for some of you a polishing down of something to start again. As I said before, relationships, but it could be a work idea, a business idea, even with co-workers. Look, I don't get on with this bitch. I just don't. But you know what? Maybe they don't have to be my best friend. Maybe I can just use my skills here of figuring out ways to just work better with them. You know, they don't have to be my bestie, but at least we can find a way to, you know, keep a distance even further than the social distance recommendations, but yet still be able to work and get along together. So it's just all that energy of, you know, now that I see the big picture, they don't have to be my best friend. We don't have to be a tight brother, sister, family member. We don't have to be that stereotypical thing. All we need to do is find ways to actually tolerate each other, you know, and that is problem solving. Sometimes it's as simple as that. But I see here with Mars for most of the month moving into your third house, there's a lot of very strong conversations about family issues, about home issues, and a lot of energy going into that. Some of you having conversations, if you have siblings, brothers, sisters, or other family members, a lot of heartfelt and emotional communication going on there, expressing your opinion, but it's all very, you know, but this is how I feel about it. Your feelings are valid. I even get the sense for some of you, certain family members have ignored how I feel about situations. They've ignored. They thought I was overreacting. They thought I was being overly touchy about a certain thing. But you know what? My feelings are valid. I should say to them, this is what I feel, and you should honor that and respect that. I also feel for some of you on the flip side, making really new, beautiful emotional connections with other family members or other people, other friends. There could be very nice contacts with people this month in general, and you're feeling much more grounded, much more steady, and having a laugh. It's almost like going from a period of conflict and insincerity to flipping it all over to the other side, saying, no, I want sincere, genuine, honest, open, real, true feelings with people. That's what I'm encouraging more of. So that's really nice. Now, we have Mercury retrograding this month, and I would say this, for some of you, there's a feeling here that some of you are interested in either buying a home, buying a foreign property, or renting a new home or property, being very fired up and enthusiastic about that, changing up some dynamic within your home, very fired up about that. or even buying a new vehicle or mode of transport. Is it a great time? It might be a great time for you to explore that, but with so much retrograde energy, maybe you might hold off for a bit if you can, if you're buying a major purchase like that. Unless, of course, as I said, it's absolutely necessary. Feeling again so many things coming in with you, Capricorn. There's some issue between you and a certain family member, and that should be dealt with. But your feelings must be taken into account because they are valid. And for those of you in a relationship, is it a family member of your partner? They're driving you absolutely nuts. They're driving you up the wall. You've got zero tolerance for them right now. It's like you can't even hear their name right now. So that's another reason for you to be talking to your partner to deal with it. But one of the main energies here is, there's the feeling here, Capricorn, of you've been hit so hard, you felt like everybody was bossing you around. And there's a moment here of you saying, I just don't need this. I don't need people bossing me around. I have to fight back and say, this is just not acceptable. This is not normal behavior. To expect me to be okay with that. You know, nobody's going to boss me around. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. Nobody's going to push me into doing something I find very, very uncomfortable anymore. That's not going to happen. Yeah. So you're still on it. You're still sweeping out the conflict. But as I said, the lunar eclipse this month is giving you the strength, as that card comes out, and one other card, the strength and the will and confidence to move forward. So my love, with all the cards that we need, I know that was a long introduction, but you are going through some big changes, excuse me, and you do have that strange magic of the cosmos delivering the promise to you that if you really want someone or some situation to poof, disappear out of your life, then, you know, click your ruby slippers together 3 times and make it happen. Because the energy is here for all of that hardship or conflict or service to people who you just don't want to be around anymore. The energy is here now for you to, you know, say goodbye. Adieu, 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 you know. Okay, so my love, let's get over to your big grand, ta-da, your overview. So there is a lot of psychic energy. That's the lunar eclipse this month in the 12th house. All your intuition is about to be proved right. There's a feeling of, I've been weighing this situation up for a long time. I've been trying to find whether it's the right thing to do, the right deal to make, the right decision to make, the right situation, the right way to handle it. I've been weighing the pros and cons of this over and over and over and over and over again in my head. Do I cut that person out of my life? Do I delete their number even, or block them completely from my phone? Do I do this thing that when I do it, there's really no going back? Well, your intuition is telling you what to do here. Your intuition is just saying, trust. Trust. If you're really so deeply questioning something and every time it bubbles up and you say, I must think about this, firstly, why are you being forced to think about it? The fact that you've got a dilemma means that there's already an issue. So what was it that triggered this issue? What was it? Because it was something that you felt was intuitively uncomfortable for you, or intuitively not right, or this shit has been going on for too long. But you were being very practical, as I expect from a Capricorn, and very logical. Weighing up the situation. If I do this, or if I handle this a certain way, am I just making more work for myself, or am I causing waves when I would just rather have a peaceful life? Your intuition has already told you the answer. You don't even have to wait for the lunar eclipse. You already know the answer. And you're saying, no, but wait, I actually don't. What is the answer? You know the answer. Just take a second. You know what you're supposed to do. 12th house often represents the moment where we get over great big fears of trusting our intuition. I mean, if you weren't afraid of the outcome, what is your intuition telling you to do? There's your answer. Make it happen. Whatever you feel is the right way to progress, make it happen. And trust that instinct in you that is telling you, you've got to go with this. You can't have this hanging around your neck anymore. I feel for many of you, it's like you've got this weight, like the heavy stone around your neck of, will I be ever rid of a situation? So obviously there's something not right here. And your intuition will show you how, not just all the reasons why you should perhaps let something go, but also how to do it in a very diplomatic way. New moon, solar eclipse in the 7th house of diplomacy, tact, the ability to negotiate and the ability to put your ideas across in such a pleasing way that the other person is very happy with the idea. Because with the new moon in the 7th house, you're entering a whole new phase of being able to sell an idea, sell anything to anybody. What's that phrase? You could be so charismatic at the moment that you could tell somebody to go to hell and they'd actually look forward to the journey. That's how it is. So as something leaves, something is ending and something is born in you, the ability to negotiate your way through whatever it is that's leaving your life now. But I feel once you do this, you're much happier. This is a Mars and Pisces card, and Mars is in Pisces up until June 27th in your 3rd house. Decisions. 3rd house means many things, but a lot of it is communicating clearly what's going on in your mind, having the will to speak up about something, making clear choices, clear decisions that ultimately make you happy. But there's some emotional fear around this, because this for you represents, I'm stuck, I want to move forward, but how would I handle it emotionally? Making that clear decision brings the happy ever after, the rainbow, and there's you stuck in the fear, stuck in a moment that you can't get out of. You're stuck in a moment of fearing the emotional repercussions of this. If I do this, there's no going back. If I do this, am I making my world a whole lot more difficult? If I do this, if I end something with somebody, will it make me so unsteady, ungrounded, so emotionally unsupported that I'll feel like I've made a mistake? Better the devil you know than the devil you don't, right? Not right. Not right. So the 12th house, as I said, deals with these fears. You definitely want to move on. You already know what needs to be done. You're coming here looking for answers, but you already know the biggest issue seems to be of how to deal with the emotional consequences of that. Feeling, am I just causing new karma for myself if I do this? No. Lunar eclipse in the 12th house is the ending of karma. Perhaps all those fears were part of something that you have to leave behind. Grow in confidence and leave the fears behind. Grow in confidence, make good, bold, strong decisions. And once you do, you realize all the things that you thought were going to be so emotionally turbulent for you or unsteady for you. Turns out that they were very ungrounded fears, But I do feel some of you are really having this big moment to take an executive decision on something. A serious conversation is going to be had, and I feel you being very diplomatic. I feel you being very diplomatic, but at the same time reasoning with your emotions. The reason why I need to get out of this contract or out of this relationship or out of this thing is because it doesn't sit right with me anymore. It doesn't feel good to me anymore. And if somebody says, you can't just go in a feeling, we'll say, I can actually, because if it doesn't sit right with me or feel right to me, then you're not going to get the best out of me. You're not going to You're not going to get me involved in it. I'm not going to want to be here. So I do feel some of you putting on your hat, putting on your coat, and forcing an issue, finally, to make an executive decision. There could be a feeling of, excuse me, Capricorn, making this big, bold, brave executive decision to force your point. Now, usually we wouldn't recommend, don't be forcing your point. Don't be insisting upon something. Don't be kind of shouting somebody down. But this is different. It's almost like that's exactly what you need to do, because that's what you haven't been doing. You haven't been insisting. You haven't been forcing your point. You haven't been having that conversation about how uncomfortable something is making you feel, how difficult a certain thing is for you. You haven't been insisting that, as I said, it makes you feel uncomfortable. Excuse me, but I feel at some point, mid-month, you start doing that, or maybe even say the end of the first week, start of the second week of the month, you start insisting. And again, look at this card, represents tact. It represents diplomacy, and it represents winning through tact. You get a wish come true because you've changed tack for a victory. As I said, you can sell your idea, you can insist upon your point, you can debate something and argue something, you can stand up for yourself. But again, not in a way where it's about being at war or at battle. It's the art of diplomacy, the art of tact. As I said earlier, telling somebody to go to hell and making them look forward to the journey. That is where you're at now, and that's where you get your victory. This is where there's a relief. Sometimes this card represents the moment that you're beginning to see that your emotional problems or the emotional issues or the baggage that you've been carrying for so long in your heart is finally starting to come to a close because you've handled it better. Very diplomatically, very tactfully. Perhaps even for some of you, you're choosing a legal route to handle a situation. It's like, this is just how it's going to be right now, and I'll get a victory out of this. Now, I see coming towards the end of the month, we've got a Cancerian card here. We've also got what's sometimes an Aries card. It could be that there's a Cancer or Aries sun, moon or ascendant. There's an issue going on there. Why do I get the feeling like you're being the referee or the peacemaker between a Cancer and an Aries sun, moon or ascendant? I have a sense of you looking at both of them and saying, in some way you're both right, and in some way you're both totally wrong. Is there a way to fix this? So I see you at the end of the month being somewhat of a mediator between two people, maybe family, but at the same time being very, very objective. It doesn't have to be family, being the in-between person who makes everybody get along. They have a point, but both of them are also being very digging their heels in a wrong way, and I will be the mediator here. But as I said, I am not personally involved in this. This isn't personal. This is me saying, I am the adjudicator here. So that's for some of you. But these two cards represent stability and security, and they're kind of in a bit of a chaos here, a bit of a chaotic moment. And I feel that for you here, Capricorn, a moment's decision or a tough decision that you have to make is temporarily throwing you into an uncomfortable situation. A relationship ends. How do I pay the bills now on my own? A relationship ends. Well, how do I live life on my own? Will I miss this person terribly? A contract ends. Am I jumping from the frying pan into the fire? Now I feel very uncomfortable. So there is definitely a moment of discomfort and fear. But I think you've the strong hand in this. For me, the big thing is you know already what to do. You know already what decision to make. The biggest issue is your fear to make it, and fearing that you're going to be throwing yourself into some sort of emotional or real-time instability if you do it. And yet the last card that comes out is the Queen of Fire, the motivated one, the spontaneous one, the one who says, shit has to happen here. Come on, people, let's get moving. Let's not wait around. Let's not dilly-dally, shilly-shally. It has to happen. She's also the one who uses her intuition, the psychic cat. She's saying, I know what I'm doing. Like all the fire signs, you might think I don't know what I'm doing because it looks like I'm just jumping in or diving in or blah, blah, blah. But we actually know what we're doing. You know, very often me as an Aries, people say, Aries, they dive in, they jump in, they don't know what they're doing. The only reason why we do that is because we know what we're doing. Not always. No, that's true. Not always. But we do trust our instincts and intuition. And I'm saying that because that's where you're at. Mars, of course, moving into Aries on what date? June 27th. So you're also feeling that thing of, I know what I'm doing. I'm trusting my instincts, my intuition, and I'm looking forward to happier times. See, she has the sunflower in her hands and she's turning her head to the side saying, you know, I've seen all that I need to see. I've been there, seen that, done that. I don't need to see anymore. Don't need to see any more of these truths being revealed, the snakes in the grass being revealed. I don't need it because my intuition has already figured all of this out. Instead, I'm looking at the sun. I'm looking at the happiness in life, the joy in life, the strength that I've got now in my life because I've made really powerful decisions. You know, I'm looking towards the people who bring me joy in my life. And of course, with the new moon solar eclipse in the 7th house, in there with the sun, because she's following the sunflower who follows always the path of the sun, it's like, no, new relationships, new business contacts, new clients, new ways of getting on with those shitty co-workers, new ways of getting on with certain people that under any other circumstances I wouldn't entertain. But as I said, I can find new powerful ways of making shit happen and enjoying myself in the process. So there's a feeling of power and real strength coming to you once you get over your fear of your own power. Imagine having to get over the fear of your own power. Well, maybe because so many people have been pulling and dragging out of you and making you feel powerless. Maybe they were trying to take you down, like somebody trying to take down the lion. Let's take Capricorn down. You will all right. Try it. Try take me down, because once I'm down, you better watch out, because when I get back up, you'll be sorry. You'll be sorry. You'll be sorry. So if they have taken your power, your response and your revenge is to take it back and just say, nice try, nice try. Nice try, but it's not going to work anymore. So, my love, I'm going to leave it at that. Strong, powerful month for you ahead. Now, of course, we're leaving it at that, but we continue with the extended version of this reading over on Vimeo at the Deep Read, where we'll go deeper, deeper, deeper into relationships. What the heck is going on with a full moon in the 12th house? The singles, with a new moon solar eclipse in the house of relationships and partnerships, maybe there is something going on for you this month. Money and career, we'll talk about that with Saturn, your ruler, in your 2nd house of finances and money and resources. Home, family, issues coming up there. We'll dive right into a Capricorn in the Deep Read on Vimeo, the extended version of this reading. How do you get to it? The same way as always, down there below in the description box. There's a link. Click into it, come on over, and we'll go further. But my love, if we are going to leave it here at the general read for this month, then get that power back. They can't keep a good Capricorn down for long. Yeah, and they only could do it because you agreed to it. You know, there's nobody or nothing can keep you down. So, my love, as always, I'm going to leave you with all my love and a great, great big kiss from me to you. Mwah. Until next month, my beautiful. Bye.